So this is my review of Eminem new album, The Death of Slim Shady, which dropped a couple days ago. So I wanted to take my time and listen to it a couple times because it's hard to leave a review when you only listen to an album one or two times, or especially one time. Which I understand because regardless, it always take time, months, maybe even years for you to really be able to judge an album because we done seen this go both ways to where perfect example is like Eminem album Relapse. When Relapse originally came out, most people hated it and said that it was trash. Over time, people have started to like the album and realize, how good the album was. And that has happened before with movies, and other albums. I can't even think of one off the top of my head to where initially it might have been viewed great, but as time went on, it became, like it didn't stand the test of time. It didn't age well. And then there's albums that when they first came out, people didn't like them or movies or whatever. But over time, the popularity grew and it became like, kind of like a cult classic is what they call it. So we know that that's always gonna happen. So we really don't know how the Death of Slim Shady, how this album is gonna hold up until years from now because of the replay value. You don't know about the replay value until time passes by. So we can't fully judge the album. All we can do is judge it off of our first time hearing it, which might change later. So I wanted to get that out the way. So I listened to the album a good because I started listening to it on midnight when it dropped. I was out driving, so I said, why not just throw it on and listen to it? So I probably listened to it 3, 4 times within the past 2, 3 days. And then I went back and re-listened to some Relapse. And then I went back and listened to Music to Be Murdered by also, which I'm gonna get into later, talk about that album. But so the Death of Slim Shady review. So before I get into it, I want to file one more disclaimer. I always have to say this before I get into the review because I want you to know who I am and how I view Eminem and everything like that. Because it does matter. When somebody talking about something, it does matter if they a fan, a hater, or somebody who just don't care for the person that's in the middle. So I think that we should always know which category you fall in whenever you speak on something. The same thing for sports. Like if I'm going to talk about LeBron or Jordan, it always does matter if I'm a fan of them or not a fan or a hater, or if I don't care for them, because it do speak to kind of the objectivity. Even though you could be a fan of somebody and be objective like I am, but a lot of people not. Like if you shoot, like when somebody don't like an artist, they typically go out their way to like not like something. And it's like you already going into it not liking it because you don't like the artist or you don't like the song or whatever like that. Versus if you a fan, you going into it like your intent when you going to listening to something is different. When you a fan, you going into it with the open ear and you want to hear the best and you expecting the best and you giving the person the best opportunity. Somebody, if you don't like somebody, you already going into it thinking that it's gonna be trash. And then somebody who's not a fan, who's in the middle, they just listen to it and then it just kind of is what it is. So I guess sometimes it is better to be, um, I guess, in the middle, in the gray area, like, so you can be more objective. But when you a fan, you get to look at it from a different angle because you know the artist, you know kind of what they talking about. Like, more details and facts about the subject than somebody who's a casual listener or somebody who's casual to something. So I just wanted to get that out there. But I am an Eminem fan. Eminem is probably my third favorite rapper behind Tupac and Nas. Nas and Eminem battle back and forth for my second and third spot. So really, Eminem could be 2 or 3. I probably would give the edge to Nas because I feel like Nas been a little bit more consistent than Eminem. But regardless, Eminem is in my top 3 favorite rappers. So let me start my review off by saying that. And I have listened to every single Eminem album, some more than others. The first ever album I bought was the Marshall Mathers LP. That's my first ever rap album I can remember buying, which I shouldn't have had because I was like 9 or 10 years old. So my mom had that, bought it for me. But yeah, so I've been listening to Eminem all the way. I'm from Detroit also, so you already know I know all about Eminem. And then we can dispel, of course, all the people saying, "Oh, don't nobody listen to Eminem," or "Black people don't listen to Eminem." We already know that that's a lie. You crazy? You think Eminem that sold hundreds of millions of records and no Black people bought them? Now, especially back then, like I tell people, if you didn't grow up or you didn't experience Eminem when he first came out, you can't speak on this. Maybe in today's like the new age, like 2010 after, you could say that. But when Eminem first came out, best believe Black people, everybody, rock and roll people, that's why he sold so many records. It's because everybody was listening to him. Everybody listened to Dr. Dre, heard Eminem on Chronic 2001, forgot about Dre. Like everybody was an Eminem fan when he first, the Up and Smoke tour. Black everybody liked Eminem part, like, like let's stop this. Like the movie 8 Mile, Black people watched the movie 8 Mile. Like, come on now. So I just wanted to get that out the way because I just hate when people say that, but that's another subject for another day. So yeah, I wanted to preface my comments by just saying that I am an Eminem fan, but I am objective, of course. I call a spade because some stuff you just can't deny. So I went into this album because I did highly anticipate this album because Eminem last few albums, I really didn't like. I listened to them all, but I didn't have high expectations like I did for this album. Because this album, I like the concept of it. Because, like, with the death of Slim Shady, you don't know if Eminem about if this gonna be his last album. Of course, that's always through out there. Then, if he's trying to get himself canceled, what he's really trying to do. So that's why I was interested in it. Then the song Houdini came out, which the song is okay, because I guess I'm gonna get into the singles first. The Houdini is the song is okay. I probably like the video more than the song, but both is all right. Because Eminem always like to drop a funny track as his first song. He been doing this since My Name Is, The Real Slim Shady, Without Me, Just Lose It. So We Made You. So we know that this is what Eminem this is what Eminem does. So I always look at it from that standpoint. And as far as Houdini go, I feel like Without Me is probably his best first single. Like out of all his funny type of first single song, the song off the Eminem show, Without Me, that probably is his best song. But sure, which he kind of tried to he did a what is it, a parody or parody to the Without Me video with Houdini. So as far as that, I always felt like Without Me is probably the best. I did like My Name Is and The Real Slim Shady growing up. The Real Slim Shady, when that came out, that song was played like nonstop. Like that's still one of the biggest songs of all time that I ever heard. They played that music video all the time. But I like all three songs, but I felt like Without Me was probably the best. And then I didn't like We Made You. I hated that single. Just like I didn't like Berserk off of Marshall Mathers LP. Recovery was Not Afraid. That song was all right. Like, I like that he finally switched it up. He tried to go mature instead of being goofy with it. So, but Not Afraid, it's one of them songs that when you first heard it, it's an okay song. It's not something that you listen to regularly or, it's not like one of his best songs or nothing. It was just all right. So then he had, trying to think what was his most recent. I think for Music to Be Murdered By, was it guys? I think Godzilla was the first single. I might be wrong about that. Then I know he had the song with Beyonce. So he kind of strayed away from that with the last couple albums, but I haven't liked the singles off of no album really since Eminem show. Cause like I didn't like Just Lose It, didn't like We Made You, Not Afraid was all right, didn't like Berserk, didn't like the Revival single. So yeah, I haven't really liked the Eminem first single in a while. So this was the first time I'm like, all right, it's not perfect, but the video is creative and it is catchy because I know the original song that they talking about. I mean that he sampled, that he got it from the original because they for some reason they play that song all the time while I'm at the gym. I don't know why that is, but that song, the original version of Houdini always come on that Eminem sampled it for. So it's a catchy song. It's all right for what it is. And then Toby ended up hearing Toby. So with Big Sean and Baby Tron. So I like the beat. I like the song. The song is all right. I really don't care too much for the hook. And then when I first heard about the song, everybody saying that Baby Tron sounds like Big Sean. So I didn't even, and when I finally heard the song, I didn't realize that it was, unless I watched it, because I watched the video, I knew the difference between the two. If I didn't watch the video, I couldn't tell Baby Tron from Big Sean apart. Like they literally rapped and sounded alike. Like it's just, it's crazy to me. I don't know if Baby Tron was a fan of Big Sean or they just was trying to have the same flow for the same song, because I haven't listened to any Baby Tron outside of this, so I don't know how he usually raps, but he sounds just like Big Sean. But overall the song was straight, the beat was cold, Eminem was straight on there, the song was overall good for the most part. So I'm like, okay, these two straight singles, I want to see what this album about. I'm ready to hear the album. So that's how I went into the album, but I didn't go into it with high expectations because Eminem, just like Nas, I didn't accept it as that they never gonna give us they never gonna be the prime them. It's just not gonna happen. Nas is never gonna drop another Illmatic, Stillmatic. It was written, like it's over with. The same for Eminem. Eminem is never gonna drop another Eminem show, Marshall Mathers LP. It's not gonna happen again. Like all you can hope for now is a good solid album with some good songs that you can replay and that that you can listen to as a fan. That's all I really expect from older rappers. It's kind of getting that way about Lil Wayne now, because I'm also a big Lil Wayne fan, to where it's like, like it's at the point like you can't expect for them to drop their best stuff, because one of the main reasons, and I always say this, which I'm gonna get into this album, which matters a lot, is that once a rapper gets to a certain point, they done talked about everything. And that's why rappers usually their first or second album is usually their best album, because that's when they got the most to talk about. That's when they fresh or new. When you on your 12th album like Eminem, and I know Nas is over 10 albums too, it's like we didn't heard everything they got to say. All they doing is like rapping different on different beats and kind of switching up some of the things that they say. Maybe something new in their life happens so they can kind of talk about that. But for the most part, we didn't heard everything that they have to say. Then that's what happens with music for the most part, especially rap, when you trying to be personal and you trying to, talk about your life and things like that. So that's what it really comes down to. We just get tired of hearing what you gotta say. And that's where Nas and Eminem is at. So that's why I already accepted that. And then they life, like they millionaires and they old. Like, they owe both. Eminem is 50. I think Nas is 50 or almost 50. Like they old and comfortable. Like, they don't have that same hunger of being broke, coming from the struggle. Like you're not gonna have that same hunger and that same like it's just not gonna be there. So I'm never going to Eminem or Nas or any of my favorite rappers albums thinking that comparing it to the classic them, because I know it's never gonna meet expectations. All I want is a solid album. And that's what I wanted from this album. I just wanted this album to be as good as Relapse, Marshall Mathers LP, and Music to Be Murdered By. If it's on that level, that's good enough for me. I just didn't want it to be as bad as like Revival, or me not the one to listen to it like Kamikaze. And then the Recovery I liked when it first dropped, but Recovery haven't aged well. So it's kind of like the opposite of Relapse to me. Like Relapse, when it first came out, I didn't like it, but over time I liked it. Recovery, when it first came out, I liked it, but over time I don't like it. So that's all I really wanted from this album. It just be as good as Relapse and Marshall Mathers LP, and we'll be good. So now that we got that out the way, getting into the album. So when we first turned on the album, the first song is Renaissance. So um that's probably, I mean, that when I heard that song, it made me want to really listen to the album. I thought that this was gonna be a great album. When I first heard this song, the beat and everything, I'm like, dang, like Eminem came hard on this song for sure. So man just likes competition and just goes about his business. Anyone who knows about his shindig, shenanigans, and all his whack gimmicks in the papers. Chicks dangling, the baby tangled in a blanket, strangling and hanging him over the railing by the ankles on some gangster shit. Child the danger, dark brain arcane, but it marked train and it marked tame and it sharp pain in the heart game and the bar chain, but it marked things and it start spraying, it start raping, the beat start raving it. You're it on flake, you're it on baby. Okay, that's it. I ain't gonna play the whole song, but yeah, but he started the album off great. The beat, his flow, everything was tight on that. In the subject matter that he was talking about, he started off the song, the album great for sure. And that's one of my favorite songs on the album. Um, Second is Habits. Habits is another great song, a great follow-up song to it. Beat and everything, the rap and everything on this is great. So the first two songs is sounding like, I was hoping not for an encore, because encore started off great and then it kind of took a nosedive. So yeah, no. Split it. Half an out of van. I'm driving straight out of van. In a black sedan, fast as I can. In Pakistan, getting chased by Pakistans. You know how I roll, bitch. I'm an avalanche. If my shit, I'm gonna spit it. How I wanna spit it. Whether it gets offended, suck a dick and fuck a critic. It's about to get retarded on this motherfucking shit. Midget, I'm gonna break the habit of saying getting harder. I'm still an addict, so it's getting harder. Been calling bitches hoes since the kindergarten. This is Jimmy Carter. Now I'm kitty corner, sitting in PC court with a shitty lawyer. Like, damn. You got an addiction, man. I know you can't get rid of me forever because you know that I'm prescription. The hook I really don't care for. It was all right. The singing could have been better. The hook could have been better, but overall, I like the song though. I like Eminem rapping. I like the beat. So the first two songs, I'm like, okay, we got something on our hands. Eminem not playing. Then we get into Trouble. Trouble was just like basically a skit. What is it? Stop and drink it. No. He started rapping at the end, but the fuck? What the fuck you trying to do? Get us canceled. Hey, yo. People. Yeah, people suck. So crippled. So he basically just trying to say the most craziest stuff that he can say. And because the song only 41 seconds, so it's kind of like a snippet, or a skit, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so Trouble was all right. It's hard to judge a 41-second song. So next is so I want to stop on this song and talk about this song for a minute. And this brand new dance, as y'all should know already. So Eminem has started to do this. He's been doing this every few albums. Like he started to make like a dance type of a record. He did that on Music to Be Murdered By with the song Killer. Then on Recovery, he had White Trash Party. Marshall Mathers LP, he had dang, I can't even remember, but he had something on there also. So Relapse, he had, it can kind of be Crack a Bottle, but same song and dance maybe would fit in that category. But especially, but sure, Killer and White Trash Party, like Eminem tried to make like club, like like dance type of songs. Then on Marshall Mathers LP, I guess that would be Drug Ball. I think that's the name of the song. That's been so long off of the original Marshall Mathers LP. But Eminem like to try to make a dance type of song every now and then. So that's what I kind of took this as and looked at this as like, okay, this one an Eminem dance song. So, and I like Killer and White Trash Party, Drug Ball, all of them type of songs I like because I like when Eminem switch it up and have like, like a up-tempo type of beat, like a beat that you can nod your head to. So, and Killer was probably my favorite song off of Music to Be Murdered By, crazy enough. But so I'm like, okay, I like the beat. The beat is type the little Halloween, this type of zombie type of beat. I'm like, okay, I mess with it. Then he started rapping and talking. And I'm like, when I first listened to it, I'm like, it wasn't until later on, which, when we get to Guilty Conscience 2, and he explained this song, so I kind of got it. But I'm like, no, I didn't like the Christopher Reeve stuff, because I'm like, dang, Eminem, you still talking about Christopher Reeves? Like, come on now. Then it was like, the way he did it wasn't as clever or as funny as it could have been. Like, the song execution could have been way better. That's my point. Like, he could have executed and did something way better with this beat. But sure, it just, like I tried to like it. This is actually the song I probably listened to the most because I wanted to like it so bad because I like the beat. But it's just like the lyrics and everything. I'm like, no. Then I was trying to figure out, did he record? Like, did he re-record this from iCourt, or is this literally the song that was, did he record this in 2003, 4, or did he just record this now? Or did he like re-record it now? Like I was trying to listen to his voice and see, like, if this the actual song from then, he just put it on this album, or did he re-record it for the album? But I don't know, but I tried to like the song. I just can't. I like the beat though. Like I just wish the execution was a little bit better. Then getting into evil, so evil, riding to the core, twisted cerebral. It's obvious that I'm not like other people. All I do is spray, spew the hate while I fuel the flames. Well, looks like the guns are the core, but the so evil, so evil. I'm not other people. So evil, guns are the core, but the so evil, so evil. I am not like other people. Yeah. My man's in cabinets, big enough to fit cabinet tablets. So, yeah, that's one of my favorite songs on the album. For some reason, I like the hook. Most of the hooks on here, and sometimes Eminem be having a problem with, like, later on this his hooks, but some people might not like this. I actually like the hook. It actually got stuck in my head. So, I like the beat too. Obviously, he classic Eminem rapping on here. So, rapping his ass off. So this one of the better songs on the album to me. One of my favorite songs for sure is Evil. So after Brand New Dance, I'm like, okay, the album, like, that's kind of a song that kind of threw it off. But I'm like, okay, he back. Then next is the All You Got skit. And why you doing this? Because you owe me. How? Because I gave you everything. What? And what did you do? You walked away from me. Yeah, but just fucking blind to see how it's good for you. I made you. You were nothing till you found me. How many times you try to kill me? I always come back. You cannot grow me. You cannot fit me. I'm all you got. The coup de grace is the final shot. So, you really can't judge the skit. It just goes into another song. It really didn't stand out or do nothing for the album. And that's what I wanted to say too, is that I seen the fake track list. I don't know if y'all seen the fake track list, but I actually wish we would have got the fake track list more than this track list, because I wish he would have had like the public service announcement. I thought that Dr. Dre and 50 Cent was going to be on here, especially I thought Dr. Dre was going to be on Guilty Conscious too, but he kind of switched that up, which I'm going to get into once we get into that song. So, but yeah, the skit it is what it is. Then we on Lucifer. Now, a lot of people like this song. This a lot of people's favorite song. I done heard. So right off rip, the beat is straight. The beat for sure good. Before I get banned, kicked off Twitter and TikTok, cause it's so damn pissed off, bitter. They want me to bounce like a fabric off bitter. We just got bitter. Go kick rocks with it. Dre on beat with the white face, blondie on the mic. It's like what happened to the cool seat in the ride. Like we rap and get a little bit rough breathe on the side, so they want beat. We can make like Bonnie and collide. Oh yeah, so Lucifer is straight. Like I said, it's overall a good song. I like the song. It's not one of my favorite songs like other people, but it's a great song for sure. Definitely a song that I can play and listen to. Next is Antichrist. So Peace bars just spit up like it's like the spit of bar that is a cross between Nas and Chesapeake. It's Mars and risen so hard, Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj just scissor cut it out. Still the press is wet drain. Too many headprints, my ethics, file of sentence, congesting. They should arrest me for my testing. The biggest in the Southwest. These no people can't be evidence correctly. With extreme links and steps being took to suppress things. Spread out the getting with benefit me and suffering, hanging on to the. So yeah, Antichrist. The song is all right. It just, to me, it's kind of like it's a filler song to me. Like, it's not one of the worst songs, but it's not one of the best songs. It just, like a song that's just fit on the album. I know that song got talked a lot about because of the Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj line that I just that I had just played for y'all. But overall, the song is just all right. Like, it's not a song that I'm gonna listen to a lot. I'd rather listen to Lucifer before Antichrist. Um, which I understand what he's trying to do. I mean, obviously, we know the point of the album, of the concept of the album. If you any type of Eminem fan, you know who Slim Shady is. You know that's the part of him that always the song. Slim Shady made the song "Kill You" off of Marshall Mathers LP. That's probably the best example of who Slim Shady is. Like, that's the controversial, crazy, say crazy stuff, off the wall, blind hair Eminem. So of course, that's gonna be the theme of this album is him having a lot of songs like Lucifer, Evil, Antichrist, like just crazy type of songs. So I mean, I get the point of it. It's just all about the execution of this at this point, and the execution for Antichrist is all right. It's like a filter song to me. Next is Fuel.
Smoking trees, I'm riding around. Come to my side of town. Lately, it's been going. All of my niggas gon' ride with it in the pocket to rock it like killing mom. Mama told me the power was in the tone, but it probably ain't powerful, that's gone. All of you little cowards get devoured. I'm giving out flowers to anyone. Ain't been out the house in a minute, cause I ain't with it if the money is miniature. I've been minding my business, I'm finished mine. I've been living there, but I ain't trying to be with you, cause he might put it on me like yeah. It's the only way you're gonna be. Ain't gonna be on no beat. Silly, silly on the grind like cheap. Pretty call me. Oh, silly, like it's overweight. It's just getting and it ain't gonna be pretty. Not to be a taller. Do a little each day till I be great God. Like thank God, nigga, arms too short.
So yeah, so now I want to talk about the features because this is featuring Jid or JID. My bad if I pronounced your name wrong, but he's featured on here. So he all right. He was spitting like, he wasn't trash. I wanted to say like, okay, he trash. I don't know who he is. Like, I haven't listened to him before. Cause this album, Eminem, the features on here was interesting because it was a lot of people I don't listen to or I don't know. Like, you could say I'm out of touch with music or whatever, but like, this is not some big names, obviously, or this is not Dr. Dre or 50 Cent or nothing like that. The only surprise on here was Bizarre was on here. So everybody else is like, besides Big Sean and Skylar Grey, because he didn't have Skylar Grey on almost every album since what was that? Marshall, was it Recovery that she was first on? But he had her on almost every album. So I know who she is. Of course I know who Big Sean is, but like Jelly Roll, them joints, Sly Pepper or Piper, White Gold, like I didn't know who none of these people is. So Eminem, really tried to put people on. But then I don't know, because maybe these people is big and I just don't know them. They just not in my world. So I ain't even gonna say these is unknown or people that he putting on or whatever, because maybe they is big. It's so many rappers and artists that it at this point it's hard to keep track of them. That's why I be telling people be telling me about artists, oh, you don't know who this is. It's like, don't nobody know what the count on rappers and singers is. Like, somebody need to count how many rappers and singers there is in the world. Like, it gotta be millions for real. Like, so I don't know. But so all of these features for me was interesting because I'm like, I don't know none of these people. They all was all right. I mean, none of them was like, oh, I heard them. It's like, oh, okay, I'm about to go listen to them now. Like, like none of them made me like a fan or want to listen to them. They just, it was what it was for the most part. But Fuel was a alright song. Both of them was rapping, doing their thing on here. So the point from Evil to Fuel is just like they great songs, but how can I put it? It's like some of them is kind of like I don't know how to put it. Like, I wouldn't say filter songs, but it's like all of the four songs like kind of like interchangeable to like, like I'll probably say I like Lucifer and Evil the most, obviously, but when it comes to Antichrist and Fuel, it's just like, okay, they good songs, they is what they is. Like, they kind of like the filler songs for me. Like, they cool to listen to, they straight, but it's just like they not the highlights of the album, or they not like the worst songs or the worst thing about the album. Cause I'm gonna get into what I think the worst songs is. Like I said, so far, Brand New Dance is the song I didn't care for the most, but I did at least like the beat. Antichrist and Fuel is just all right songs to me. Now we get into Road Rage. Road Rage is actually one of my favorite songs on the album, one of the best songs on the album. Cause just like most people, he caught me off guard.
Divided by penny. I'm just being honest, yeah. Now I'm in fucking chilling, throwing this shit down, huh? That Shady speaking, I'm thinking, what's his mouth, huh? You wish you'd go up and not be so juvenile, huh? Catch my new record, this shit's about to get out, huh? You feel stupid now, huh? Won't slam with a toll and put a lid on it like a toilet bowl rim. No brim, I'm in the blue corner, I trust with the gold trim. They bet that I won't win, I guess you really showed him. I became the best animated, like a dope swim. Yeah, but you take a handicap people with no limbs. So the fuck you with beats and the heart that he wrote in, bitch.
So yeah, when I heard that, I went crazy. I was like, hold up, I heard that beat before. Listening, like, is that the Juvenile beat? Like like it caught you off guard. Like, you wouldn't think for Eminem to do something like that, but that was creative and different of him to do that. So that's what made me like really like Road Rage, especially just the ending alone. I'm like, okay, I can mess with it. But overall, the song is all right. Everybody verse was all right, but it's one of them songs to where you might just skip the Eminem part. Like, Eminem is at the end. I can see that being one of those songs. But I like the song. I like the creativity and how he switched it up for sure. And then how he made it work. Like, that was dope for sure. Road Rage, one of my favorite songs for sure. Then we get into Houdini, which I didn't already talked about already. So, his catchy song, that song is all right. I already then broke that down. Then we get into the breaking news skit.
All right, now I'm about to show you something. What?
He canceled himself. Man, right now at this hour, we've got protesters lining the streets downtown.
And breaking news just pivots right into Guilty Conscience pretty good. Guilty Conscience too.
Well, we get it now. I know, right? It's like a dream team that's so thirsty for some controversy. You're still picking on Christopher Reeves. Yeah, but you're me, and we're a team, so that means we ain't cahoots. That conspiracy to commit murder. Lyrically, so clearly, you're the accessory, like jewelry. You ain't the judge of the jury, just as guilty. You don't care for legions. Man, seriously? Oh, bitch, it's a joke. No, it's not. It's embarrassing. Why? Like David Carradine found with a pair of jeans at his head and government.
So yeah, when I seen the track list, this was obviously this was the song that I was looking forward to the most because I'm such a fan of the original song, Guilty Conscience. It was a great concept and a great video, everything. So I thought that he was gonna take that angle. I thought it was gonna be like the modern day Guilty Conscience to where it was gonna be like a storytelling song to where he was gonna be in different scenarios and stuff like that. I thought that's what this song was gonna be, and I wish it would have, because it would have been better. Like, to me, I get what he did because it was still Guilty Conscience and he battling back and forth with the Guilty Conscience of Slim Shady and him talking about bullying people, but he was bullied, and I get it does fit the Guilty Conscience, but I just would have preferred it and liked it better if it was the same as the original Guilty Conscience, to where he was doing different scenarios, and then he could have did, and this is crazy, I can't believe Eminem didn't think of this. He should have did the scenarios, like had a scenario, trying to just think of one off the top of my head. Like, let's say that it's a female fan trying to talk to him, or like being a groupie. Like, let's say it's a groupie, and then he could have had Slim Shady and then Eminem or Marshall battling back and forth, like like Slim Shady, like, oh, let's take her home, and yeah, this is what a groupie is for. Then the Eminem Marshall Mathers, like, no, you can't trust her, you can't trust, like battling on what they should do with the groupie, like something like that. What I think Eminem should have did with Guilty Conscience, it would have been so much better and so much colder than what he did with it. I still like the song Guilty Conscience too. I like the song. I like the concept. It's a good song, but he should have did that. That would have been so much more fire if he would have actually stuck to the original Guilty Conscience concept. And then instead of, because I would have liked Dr. Dre to be back to do it, but since it would have fit the album as if he had Slim Shady and Eminem in scenarios battling back and forth with the dude. So That's my opinion on that. So I was kind of disappointed from what my expectations and I thought he should have done, but it's still a great song for sure. I still like it. Then we get into Head Honcho. So this one of the songs that I don't like on the album. This is like, fall into one of the worser songs on the album or worst songs on the album. Then I don't know. I guess this probably like a British rapper. I'm guessing he is. Els. What's his name? Els Mill. I think his name is. And he a Filipino rapper. He signed to Eminem label. Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing about him. So maybe the people that he put on here is people who signed to his label. That would make sense. I didn't even think about that. Let me look up Jed. Yeah. Trying to look up he's a rapper and a singer too. Oh no, so Jed, J-I-D, he's actually signed to Dreamville. So I guess he signed with J. Cole. Yeah, he is. So um, but yeah, so I didn't really care for this song because he rapping in the accent. I mean, sometimes that will work, but I just didn't care for it.
This rap didn't fight to get back. And you wonder why is it that I treat them like they can't get it. When I pull it, a bullet from out a barrel the size of a derringer flies. And how I would characterize lyrics with America. I could see the fear in your eyes. That's all my.
So yeah, I really didn't care for the hook either. Like this is probably one of my least favorite songs on the album is Head Honcho. I really just don't care for the song at all. Like I don't. Now we get into Temporary. The song with Skylar Grey, and he talking about his daughter. Basically, he passed, he's saying all of the things he would want to say to his daughter if he passed away. And Eminem has made it a thing to make songs about his daughter. Actually, the last song is also kind of about his daughter too. So Eminem probably got 6, 7 songs talking about his daughter, from Mockingbird to Haley song to what is it, Castle to 97 Bonnie and Clyde. Eminem got so many songs talking about his daughter. So that's become a theme of him. And it's like, how can you hate on that? But I still think Mockingbird probably is the best song that he had. Oh, and When I'm Gone also. That's what Temporary kind of reminds me of, the song When I'm Gone, because When I'm Gone was kind of the same about him dying and talking to his daughter. So this is kind of like that. So but I feel like When I'm Going is better. Mockingbird is better. Haley's song, them probably the top 3 songs that he done made for his daughter. For sure. These songs are just all right because you still understand. It's hard. Basically, it's hard to hate on a song or not like a song where somebody expressing their love for their kids. Like it's kind of hard not to like that type of song. It's like, what are you, like, do you got kids? Or even if you don't have kids, like I don't, it's just like, like you can relate, just like Dear Mama, just like, songs about your mama, like, you can feel them songs regardless. So he can never go wrong making a song for his daughter. And I feel like he knows that. And that's why he put that on his album. Obviously because he wants to, but it's just like that's become kind of a theme. And Eminem is smart. He's not dumb. So he can know that, okay, me putting a song about my daughter, because even on Revival, I think that was Revival, that people didn't like it, but they liked the songs about his daughter. I think it was Castle and the Rose or something like that. Them was like 2 of the only songs that got praised off of that album. So he know, like, the songs about his daughter, he really can't lose making. So, but all I can do is judge it as a song and judge it compared to his other songs about his daughter. Like I said, compared to the other songs he made about his daughter, it's not better. Like I said, Mockingbird, When I'm Going, and Haley song is better, but this song is all right. It's a good song. It's a good song.
Your guardian ain't joke. As hard as this may feel, us party is painful. And darling, the rain will drive you insane still. You will remain strong. Haley, just hang on. It won't be too long. I need you to move on. And remember, it will get better. This time heals and when I know this big girl. She's really pretty.
Then he got his daughter, more footage of his daughter at the end. Then I forgot about the song My Dad's Going Crazy. That's another song. That's one of Eminem best songs too, which he had Haley Boyce on there. Then he had Haley Boyce on 97 Bonnie and Clyde. So 97 Bonnie and Clyde is actually one of my favorite Eminem songs too. So yeah, Eminem got a lot of songs about his daughter. And it's hard to kind of compete with them songs like My Dad Going Crazy, Mockingbird. It's hard to compare, but this is a good song though. Like, you really can't hate on this song. And then it's the positive side to the album because, most of the album is about being dark and all of that. So he kind of like uplifted towards the end. Um, so yeah, so Temporary is straight. Next is Bad One.
You'll try. Let's lay better on this. Let me apologize. And I got just gotta put up with my wrist. I'm going. I just need to develop for everything I'm going. And my life is just that I gotta. I just gotta put up with my I'm going. You just gotta put up with my wrist. I'm going. I just need to develop for everything I'm going. And my life is just that with all these corny black rappers, I'm not a fan of it. It ain't my fault, but like socket puppets, I had a hand in it. This $1,000 in my hand is just like what Candace did when she turned her back on her own race.
So yeah, this song is straight. It's another to me filler song. The song not bad, but I can tell it's not one of the songs I'm gonna revisit or listen to. Like, it's not one of the songs I'm gonna save to my playlist. It's all right. The beat is all right. The hook is everything about the song is mid. Like, it's a all right song. Next is Toby, which I didn't already talked about. Like I said, I like the song. It had me looking forward to the album. It's the typical this rap cypher type of song. That's rapping and spitting, no real meaning or nothing really to the song. It's just them rapping.
Hey, boy.
I do like that beat though.
Got bit by a spider, but see, me, it was a go. If you want space, I hope you take your helmet off soon as you get up to Venus and choke. Even while sleeping, be thinking so low. White Cartiers, all I'm seeing is dope. My city laying, and I'm OB1, got a mission to pass. I just might be the hope. Toby Maguire got bit by a spider, but see, me, it was a but I inspire hope for you to go get what you desire most. Yeah, spit fire, bitch, I was just flying coach. I thought you were sick, you were misdiagnosed. I'm dope and you never had this high dose. Now my state's in the building, and bitch, I done slept on my floors in the Empire State Building. I got so many stories, but I hate to tell that's 8 filling your top 5 favorite rappers. But I know they about to be pissed at me, but this to me is a mystery. How rappers I've already written me higher up on a list than me. Yeah, here I sit on your list with 5. Still it's fine, but just go inside. To me, this shit's hilarious. So when I get this going by, a pioneer who was one of the reasons why I am here. They tell me I should just let the shit go and slide. Melly Mel shouldn't get no reply. That man is a legend, so am I. Yeah. And anyone else who thinks it'd be wise and easy as pie to beat me and tries can treat me just like.
Oh yeah, I like Eminem voice. He responded to some stuff that been said about him. I'm surprised he ain't responded to Dr. Umar too. But yeah, so I like classic Eminem throwing shots, being direct. So I like the beat. I messed with Big Sean, Baby Trauma's all right. So, it was a great song. I like Toby. Definitely, Toby, a song that, I put on my like songs on my playlist that I can play, that'll come on and I'll listen to it. Next is Guess Who Back Skit. So
Reach around and grab ya, bruh. Where anybody go? They left me again.
So That goes into Somebody Save Me. So
Come eat. Didn't walk it out the aisle. It's the birth of your first child, your first podcast. Looking down, sweetie. I'm so proud of how you turned out. Sorry that I chose drugs and put them above you. Sorry that I didn't love you enough to give them up. I fucked you, and I love you more than a pill looking up to the ceiling from this floor on the wheel. Somebody said me from myself. I spent so that give me the power to fight, but the addict in me's a coward. He told me that I can't do it. Had a second chance fluid. It's like I'm stuck inside an alternate reality, but I know I can turn it around and be able to alter and maybe one day to the altar. It's not to be.
So yeah, you heard it. So yeah, it's another song. It kind of like Temporary. That's how I was looking at it, because when I heard both songs, I'm like, dang, like like Eminem making two songs about his daughter, and basically passing. Like Somebody Save Me is more so about him being on drugs and how drugs ruined his life and how drugs took over his life. Temporary is more so about him passing and what he wanted to say, what he wanted to say to his daughter, and kind of reflecting as he died. So it's different, but they still both songs about his daughter. One, he got a female singer, the other he got a guy singer. So it's like, it is what it is. It reminds me of what was that? Rose and Castle. He kind of did the same thing on Revival, from what I remember, to where he kind of had like two kind of the same songs. So it is what it is. It's just like, I look at it just like Temporary. It's another good song. Like, how could you hate, a song with the subject matter that he's talking about? So yeah, so I'm like, the song, it is what it is. Eminem have done it better. It's not bad, but he had done the same thing better. Like I said, I'll prefer When I'm Gone over like Temporary and Somebody Save Me. So, but they're still good songs. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna listen to them. That's the thing, is that them songs is that, you hear them one time and they feel good, but is it gonna have the replay value? Like Mockingbird, When I'm Going, I can still listen to, even Haley's song, but like, trying to think of the other ones that he made, like the more recent ones, like off of Revival, like I said, I don't really go back and listen to them songs like that. So I'm just hoping, or I don't know if this gonna end up being like that with these songs, to where they good songs, but it's like, like I'm probably not gonna listen to them again. But yeah, so that's Somebody Save Me. So that's the album, the entire album, track by track. So my thoughts on it is that, um overall, I feel like it's a good album. What is it? 19 songs, and then you got the two bonus songs, Luca and Kyrie with 2 Chainz, and then I forgot the other one. I heard both of them. Both songs is all right. They good bonus tracks. Like Eminem always do. They good songs, and like I said, maybe it's always like for the bonus track, if you could switch the bonus tracks with the songs that you don't like on the album, it could make it better. But anyway, so to me, the standout, so I guess I'll start with that. My favorite songs on the album is Toby, Guilty Conscious 2, Road Rage, Evil, and the first song and second song. My top songs on the album. The songs that I didn't like the most, like I didn't like is Head Honcho. I didn't care for Antichrist or Fuel. Brand New Dance is gonna always be what it is, because, like I said, I like the beat, but I just can't get into the lyrics and the overall of the song. So to me, them the songs that I do and don't like. And then, like I said, Somebody Save Me, Temporary. What else? Houdini. What else? Lucifer. Like, them are all like, songs that's all right to me. Like, middle of the pack, mid songs, like they not good, they not bad, they all right. So that's how I view the songs on the album. Overall, I do view it as a good album. It's another great album by Eminem. Like I said, it's of course it's not gonna be up there with his first three albums that's classics. I rate them a 10 out of 10, or I'll probably get a Slim Shady LP a 9.5 out of 10. Marshall Mathers and Eminem Show a 10 out of 10. The Encore is like a 7 out of 10 because the beginning of the album was good. I mean, the beginning of the album was good, then it kind of fell off. What else? Then Relapse over time, I'll probably get Relapse like a good 8.5 out of 10. Recovery is a good 7.5, 8 at the highest. Because when it first came out, I still like some songs from Recovery, but it didn't age as good. So I'll probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Marshall Mathers LP2, I give a 8 out of 10. I like that album. It was a good album, but there was a couple songs I didn't like. Then, of course, Revival and Kamikaze is his two worst albums to me. Them like a 5 or 6 out of 10. I don't even know because I need to go back and listen to them, but them albums I only listened to like 2 times and I didn't really revisit. So this was years ago. Them came out in like 2017, 2018. So, it's been over 6 years since I've heard them albums, but I know that I didn't like them like that. Then Music to Be Murdered By, which I went back and listened to. It's a double album, so it's a lot, but that's a great album, especially if you like pick and choose the songs off of both discs. Like that, it's really a great album. It's a lot of good songs on there. It could just be too long, and that's how I compete sometimes with double albums. But I give Music to Be Murdered By a good like 8 out of 10 for sure. And then this album, I put right I put right probably at like a 8 out of 10. It's what I put it right there with Music to Be Murdered By and Marshall Mathers LP. It's like it is right on that level of what I was expecting from Eminem. I still got Relapse a little bit better, like because Relapse and Encore, the standout songs was better. That's how I feel. Like the highlights, like Encore and Relapse had like great songs, like classic Eminem songs, like songs that you could put up in the top, like 50 Eminem songs. Like they had that. Like Encore had Yellow Brick Road and Like Toy Soldiers, which is one of Eminem's best songs. Evil Deeds is one of my favorite Eminem songs. What else did Encore? Oh, Mockingbird. So like like Encore had like four, like top Eminem high that song. Like I'll take them four songs over any four songs on this album. But this album, just like Music to Be Murdered By, didn't have the lows that Encore had. Like there's no song on here that's as bad as Big Weenie or Puke, or I actually like Ass Like That. That song is actually funny. But Rain Man, like like there's no songs on here that's that bad. So it's a more like this album is more of a well-rounded album than Encore is, even though Encore got some more of the better songs. Same for Relapse to a certain degree, because Relapse bad songs wasn't as bad as Encore, but Relapse did have some bad songs on there, like what did I like? I think My Mom, and it's a few songs, on Relapse that was terrible that I just didn't like. But Relapse did have some great songs like Underground, 3 a.m., Medicine Ball, Music Box off of the bonus track, Stay Wide Awake. Like them songs is great. Like, Eminem, that's some of the Eminem best rapping and some of the best beats on there. So the highs of Relapse also was better. But oh, and We Made You. I still hate We Made You off of Relapse. I hate that single. But so this album didn't have no songs that's as bad as them songs on Relapse, but it didn't have no songs that's as good. So I guess you could kind of take that as you want to take it. But this is a great album. It's a good album for Eminem fans. Like I said, I'll probably give it like an 8 out of 10. Um, so we'll really see the test of time. We'll see how much we like the album as time going on. Because, some songs you're going to start to like as time goes on, and some songs that you like, you're going to get tired of and not listen to. That always happens. So it's really hard because some of these songs I said that I don't like or don't care for, I might actually start to like them more. Than some of the songs that I said my favorite, I might get tired of it and I not like it no more. So it's kind of hard to say. But as of right now, off my first couple listens initially, it's a good album. It's a good 8 out of 10. If you're an Eminem fan, I would for sure want to listen to it. If you're a casual Eminem fan, I would listen to it. If you don't like Eminem, I wouldn't listen to it because I heard like a lot of people like don't like if you don't like Eminem talking about, Christopher Reeves and making fun of people and like that type of Eminem that you always get, you're not gonna like that because that's the Slim Shady version of Eminem. And some people don't like that because they don't like Eminem content when he rapping about, serial killer and crazy stuff. They kind of like, more so of like the introspective Eminem, the lose yourself and the way I am, Superman, like them type of songs like that's not what you're gonna get off of this album. So if you one of them people who don't like Eminem, like serial killer and crazy content, I wouldn't listen to this album. You wouldn't like this album for the most part. So that's my thoughts on the album. Another good album, another great album. Like I said, he gave me what I expected. I'm not expecting, no Eminem show, no Marshall Mathers LP. I'm not expecting that. I'm just glad that Eminem is doing what he want to do, dropping music for his fans, and gave us something to listen to and something to take, adding to his legacy or whatever. So it was a good concept too. I like how he did it. I do think he could have did it a little bit better, like the concept. It's just little things that I would have did to made it more interesting and a little bit, like better. But overall, it's all right. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna put my review of Relapse at the end. Cause I said that Relapse is probably Eminem's most underrated album, and I still feel like it is. Some people were saying that this album is the best since Eminem show. Like I said, it's hard for me to say that. Like it's hard. I will put this right there with Marshall Mathers LP, like neck and neck. Um, gun to my head. I might choose Marshall Mathers LP, but I gotta sit with this album more because I have sat with, Marshall Mathers LP came out like 10 years ago, and there's still songs that I still love from that album. I don't know 10 years from now if I'm still gonna be able to listen to this album. But initially, I felt the same. Like I said, I give them both an 8 out of 10. When I first heard Marshall Mathers LP, it's kind of the same. Two, my bad, not one, two. I got the same thoughts that I got off of this album. I don't think this is better than Relapse, even though, like I said, it don't have the lows that Relapse have, but it definitely don't have the highs either. Far as Recovery, when I first heard Recovery, I like Recovery more than I like this album. Songs like Seduction and stuff, I like more initially. Because when Recovery first came out, I probably gave it like a 8.5 out of 10. Probably 8.5, because I did like it a little bit more than I like this album and Marshall Mathers LP. It just didn't have the staying power over time. So over time, Recovery has dropped to like a 7.5, but at first it was an 8.5. So, but yeah, I'm rambling on. So that's my thoughts on the album. To me personally, it's up there, but I would probably take Relapse over this album. Recovery, I'll probably take this album over Recovery right now, but like I said, I don't know over time how I'm gonna feel because when I first heard Recovery, I liked Recovery more than this. Marshall Mathers LP2 is on the same level. This album obviously better than Kamikaze and Revival. Music to Be Murdered By, I got kind of the same feeling too, because I like Music to Be Murdered By. I actually went back and listened to it. I think that album is underrated too. He was spitting. It was some fire songs on there. Then it kind of had the same theme of this, Music to Be Murdered By. So it's about killing. Like Eminem like rapping about that killing and violent, like the Slim Shady, like that's just him. And that's because his Mercury and Scorpio, but that's something else for another day. But that's it. That's my thoughts on it. Shout out to Eminem, a big fan. Keep doing what you're doing. The next single on the album, I don't know what he gonna make the next single because it's a lot of songs that he could really choose from for real. So I'm not even gonna speculate. But he probably will I don't know if he's gonna do a single for Temporary or Somebody Save Me. I guess we'll see, but I'm out.